What is going on, guys? My name is Chaotic and welcome back to another Grand Theft Auto 5 video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to complete this week's time trial and earn yourself $52,000 in less than 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and get straight into things. Now first of all, I'm not going to lie, this week's time trial is a lot more difficult than some of the previous weeks. But trust me when I say this time trial isn't as difficult as it seems. There are a few tips and tricks to bear in mind, and as long as you're cautious, you shouldn't have too many issues completing this time trial. Anyway, so as you guys can see in the video, this week's time trial begins at this location, and the finishing point is a fair distance away, but you do have 2 minutes and 58 seconds to complete this week's time trial. Now before you begin, I would recommend knocking the barrier down which will be in front of you, so when you do start, you don't drive into it and it instantly slows you down, and it will of course help you get off to a much better start. Now as always, I would recommend using a motorcycle for this. I myself am using a fully upgraded Batty 801. It doesn't necessarily need to be fully upgraded as you have plenty of time to complete this time trial, but of course having max upgrades or as many upgrades as possible will certainly help you out and make things easier. Now you don't necessarily have to use a motorcycle either. If you want to, you can use a Progen T20 or a Zentorno or something along those lines, but as always, using a motorcycle just makes things much easier. You can accelerate much quicker, you can travel quicker, and of course you've also got the speed trick at your disposal, so when you lean back and pop a wheelie on your motorcycle, it lets you travel and accelerate much quicker than when on two wheels. Anyway, so the first half of this time trial is very easy. Just follow the roads all the way down to Sandy Shores. They're nice and wide open, so you shouldn't have too many issues whatsoever getting yourself off to a good start. But once you enter Sandy Shores, this is where things will become a lot more difficult and you have to become a lot more cautious. Not only will you have cars on both sides of the road getting in your way, the roads themselves are also narrower and you tend to have things both left and right of you, which you can easily knock into if you're not careful. But it's at this section where you have to try and save as much time as possible, because coming up is the Cassidy Trail Canyon, where you'll be forced to reduce your speed to be cautious. So if possible, try and cut the corners and try and be as efficient as possible. Anyway, so the corner coming up is one which you can cut by driving over the hill, but you have to be very careful when doing so, and if you do hit it successfully, you can in fact save yourself a few seconds. I myself chose to take the longer but safer and easier route because I was too afraid of taking the jump, coming off the road and then increasing my time as opposed to reducing it. But it's now on this very road where loads of mistakes can be made, and of course the smallest mistakes can completely ruin your time. So be very cautious, and if you have to reduce your speed, and to be honest you have plenty of time to complete this time trial, so don't worry solely on speed, just be very steady and very cautious and you won't have too many issues completing this time trial. And with the roads being as narrow and as weavy as they are, just be as steady as you can, don't worry so much about speed as you have plenty of time to complete this time trial. Now I'm not gonna lie, I didn't complete this time trial on my first attempt. The main reason for that is because I failed so many times at this section. For the simple fact I was trying to go as quickly as I could, I was trying to cut corners and do all different things like that, but I soon discovered you have plenty of time to complete this time trial, so there's no need to go as quickly as you can. Reduce your speed, be steady, and you won't have so many issues when attempting this time trial. Anyway, so for the final section of this time trial, drive all the way to the end of the trail, cut across the road, and on the other side there'll be a grass verge, just ramp up it to cut across the corner, and then just in front of you will be the finishing line. So there we go, that's it for this week's time trial. I myself managed to complete it in 2 minutes 53.998 seconds, so I had just under 5 seconds remaining to complete this time trial. But as you guys saw, there were sections where I could have done much better and reduced my time even further. Anyway, so there we go, that is it for this week's time trial. Like I said before, it really isn't that difficult as long as you're cautious and you avoid the other cars on the road. But let me know your thoughts and feelings about this week's time trial, and also let me know as well, what time did you complete this week's time trial in? Let me know by leaving a comment on this video. It would also be greatly appreciated if you guys could also take a few seconds out of your day to click the like button, as it helps me out a lot and it's also greatly appreciated. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, I'd recommend that you do, because I upload all the latest and the greatest Grand Theft Auto 5 content. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.